Hello and welcome to how I made Sunless's overpowered car. The task was to make a car that was bigger, faster, and had more boost. The first thing I did is get the boost meter assets from the game files and put them in Photoshop so I could edit them. I put them together, edit the colors, so rather than going from yellow to red, it goes from red to purple to sky blue. I took these images and put them into Adobe Animate where I would animate the boost meter. I did this with a mask, which is just a rectangle rotated and scaled around in a circle, which doesn't look pretty, but when it's used as a mask, it looks good. After some work, I added some layers and some coding. I got something that looks pretty good. Alright, so it's day 2. I just got the car, and we're gonna see what it looks like for the poly count. So first of all, Rocket League cars are about 20k, 25k or less, and this is 58k. So I need to find a way to minimize that as much as I can, and I already see a few things. First of all, is this real? That's real. Why is that real? Okay. All right, so if we select all the mesh, that's 5k right there. So we're down to 53k. This, I don't know what that is. Oh my. Why is there so much poly on this? That could be taken down, like a lot. This doesn't need to have that strong of a bevel. This, I could probably take out a couple loops here. This doesn't need to have a bottom either. There's nothing there. It doesn't need a bottom. This doesn't need a bottom either. And this doesn't need an inside. I get it sub demodeling, so that was there, but that doesn't need to be there. This does not need to be this high poly for a door handle either. I'm also critiquing this a lot, but think of my mindset. I'm trying to get this as low a poly count as possible, while this person isn't trying to get it as low as possible. So keep that in mind as I'm looking through this, because this is all sub D workflow, which is about right. But for a game, for like Rocket League, especially Unreal Engine 3, I need to minimize this poly count wherever I can. On top of this, there's 5 different wheels, and this wheel is 6k, which is way too much. I mean, look at that. That's way too much. Alrighty, let's get up to optimizing. Alright, so a slight issue I'm running into here is that a lot of this geo is actually here for shading. So by deleting it, I'm actually ruining the shading. And well, that's not great. Never mind, I fixed it. Alright, carry on. After cleaning up the car, I combined it all into one object so it could be exported into UDK. Then I had to go through to every material and make a UV map. By doing this, I could drop it into Substance Painter, where I can turn the materials into textures, adjust the colors, and add some extra details. Then I put it all in game and it looked pretty good. And now it was time to code the thing and make it work. After a week, the Overpowered car is finished. Now let's explain how it works. There are two plugins being used to adjust both the car size and the boost strength. The custom car is normal custom car code, but the 200 boost tank was pretty difficult. The boost pads are quote-unquote fake, meaning that they have a trigger in which I can use my own code to give the players boost, instead of using the built-in boost pads that Psionic coded. We need these boost pads to be fake because we need to go over the 100 boost cap that the game assigns by default. To get over it, I have a value called player boost, which I can range between 0 and 2 depending on the amount of boost. The big boost pads were easy. We just need to see if the car going over the pill is the OP car. If it is, then we can set the player boost to 200 and call it a day. Another thing we need to do is fill the player up with 100 boost if they're over 100. To do that, I have this bit of code which does just that. So now I can set the player boost between 0 and 2, and this code will handle the rest for me. The small boost pads were a little trickier to figure out. I added 0.12 to the current boost amount, but then I have to check if that value is going over the limit of 2 boost. If it's going over the limit, I set it to 2. If it's not, I set it to the added value. And after that basic coding, it's all done. Overall, it was a pretty fun one. I've never actually done custom cars before, and getting to do the 200 boost tank was an interesting problem to solve. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you